All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. This time, if we could all rise for the flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. It's nice to see so many people here. At this time, we're going to have a presentation for the girls' track and field team.
Well, we have our coaches coming up, but let me just start by congratulating the team. And this is long overdue. We didn't get a chance to do it at the end of last school year, and so it's awesome to see some of our kids that are now in high school coming back and joining us for this. So we really appreciate that, and just want to congratulate you. So we do have a couple things for you. I'm going to turn it over to Marguerite and Lou to do that, and to congratulate you as well on a great season.
Thank you. The girls did amazing. If you know anything about track and field in the Cape Atlantic League, we are this small little pea in this great big pond. And we're going against schools like Davies that have 500 eighth graders, and we have 70 in total, and maybe 5 on the team. So these girls put in a lot of time, a lot of effort. Some of our 5th graders were running against people that looked like they were 25, and they did amazing. So the accomplishment is huge for all of you. First time we have ever won a track Cape Atlantic League championship. So girls, schedule conflicts, a lot of other sports going on, a lot of dance going on. So that part is a little upsetting that not everybody's here, but we have a great representation. Welcome back. So many of you freshmen now. We do miss you. And the 8th graders that are stepping up, we expect it again next year. No pressure this season, no pressure. So we're just going to call out and recognize those people that are here. Well, we can read the whole list, but those of you that are here, you can come up, get your certificates, and then your shirts are in the back. So we'll have you get those as well. Mr. Appucci, anything?
Yeah, so Mr. Driscoll can't be here today, but you know how important this is to him, how serious he takes this and everything, if you know Mr. Driscoll. But,
he owns up to Deadly Serious Dan.
Yes, he does. As coaches, we talked many times, and we're proud of your ability, but we're more proud of your effort, because every day you guys came and you put in work, and especially a lot of our 8th graders were leaders, and like things like when we would do our warm-ups, we always tell you like, finish it strong, finish it strong. You finished your whole season strong, and that mentality really carried over. And it's awesome to see those results, and it is cool to see that so many of you took time to come here tonight. But parents and students, we appreciate it, and it's an awesome accomplishment.
So I'll read off, and then if you hear your name, come on up. We'll get the certificate and then the shirt, and then we'll take a picture as well. All right. Gianna Bartling.
I'm by myself.
Haley Butterhawk. Gianna Cintron. Lacey Denby. Leah Engelman. Mallory Fleegley. Francesca Foy. Jenna Freeze. Jordan Kraft. Michaela Heath. Emma Hendrickson. Jesse Herbert. Jade Hernandez. Sandra Opperman. Mackenzie Quigley. Jenny Ray. Samantha Schoenstein. David Joe Singletary. Gabrielle Spaduro. Emily Stalba. Madeline Winterbottom. Addison Zach. Lou Appalucci. Dan Driscoll. And Marguerite Tomasello.
We get to go. We'll do a quick picture.
I know that.
Hold up whatever you want, or it doesn't matter. You got No, you're gonna make the picture really wide.
Parents are more than welcome to come over and take pictures.
What about Luci's face?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, hold it up like that. Perfect.
At least his bow tie.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Parents,
Wait, one more, guys.
Congratulations, everyone. It's a great achievement. We're glad you came out so we could recognize you. It's always nice to be able to recognize good things happening here. At this time, if any parents or students or anybody wants to exit, you are welcome to exit. Our next presentation is about state testing, and I'm sure you all would love to see that, but I also understand if you need to go. So, thank you for coming out.
Thank you, everybody.
They're good. Grab a
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now you guys see Oh, you're a little like
Oh, High five.
No, it's really she wants to say. All right, at this time, we're going to have a presentation from our supervisor of curriculum and data on the 2023 spring NJSLA results.
Thank you. So every year, I should introduce myself, Scott Seriaco. Everyone knows me. So if you can't see, this is going to be on the website tomorrow. So you can just go right on our curriculum page and see everything that's right there, exact same presentation. So every year we do have to present the results of our standardized testing to the Board of Education and have it available for the public. So we This is for last year's 2023 spring NJSLA assessments that we did in ELA and math for third grade, and also science, 5th and 8th grade. We also were required to report on the dynamic learning maps for special ed and access for ELLs, which are two other state-run or federally run assessments that we're required to do. However, we usually do not meet the N number of 10. So if there's 10 or less students that are that took the test, we're not allowed to report on it to keep confidentiality of the students. So we did not get to 10, but I just wanted to mention that. I forgot to change the year there. So for NJSLA, a lot of you have seen this before. ELA in math, the performance levels that we have, it's 1 through 5. Everything from level 1, not yet meeting expectations. Level 2, partially meeting expectations. 3, approaching expectations. Level 4, meeting expectations. Level 5, exceeding expectations. That's ELA in math. Science is a little different. It's 4 levels. Level 1, below proficiency. Level 2, near proficiency. Proficient, advanced proficient. So we generally try to look at levels, the combination of level 4 and 5, which means the students passed it. And science, we look at 3 and 4. That means that they passed the test. So quick comparison. Again, this is as big as we can get in here. But this will be on the website tomorrow if you really want to get granular with it and everything. So this is ELA, the district to state comparison. We do this every year. So one thing that we do not have anymore, we used to get reported upon with our district factor group, which was basically comparing more of a apples to apples. So in other words, here in Mullica, we would compare ourselves to a school that's similar to us in demographic, in income and everything. They don't do that anymore. So when you see these district Mullica to state results, this is against the whole state. And I want you to keep that in mind because some of these results I think are impressive because we're competing against every district. I mean, you know, districts that have more money, have more resources, everything. So I think Mullica does very well that way. So what I've done is district is blue, state is gray. Level 2, level 1, 2, 3, remember that's where students are approaching meeting expectations. And then we get to 4 and 5 where they're meeting and exceeding. So we like to see these go this way. Okay, so this is 3rd grade ELA and 4th grade ELA down there. 4th grade ELA, you can see, beat the state. You know,
Like you're welcome.
So, yeah, so we also look at all of these and everything and try to figure things out. Remember, this is one test. So technically 2 days of testing here, but this is one test. It's not the end all be all of everything.
Scott,
Middle school.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Those, I just want to make sure I'm not doing the math wrong. Those kids in 3rd grade would have been 2020-21 would have been their 1st grade year, right? Yeah.
That sounds right.
Okay. Thank you.
So ELA, this is the middle school, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. Some highlights here. We had 7th grade, very close to state right there. Again, that's the whole state. Same with 8th grade exceeded. And then 5th and 6th grade, pretty close there. Overall ELA, I never know if I should do this or not because these are weird when you compare one year to the other year. So again, the grain of salt you take this with. This is comparing our 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. However, you can compare, you're not comparing the same kids or you're not comparing the same test. So I put this, does everyone kind of understand that? So the kids move up each year and we go from, you know, they were in 3rd grade in the blue is 2022. So they were in 3rd grade last year. If you move to 4th grade, they increased. Those kids did better. However, it's not the same test. It's not the same standards. So I put that in there just to see because I saw what looks like pretty good stuff. But again, it's a different test. So you got to take that and you have to look at each test and the standards of each test and where they did well and where they didn't. That's what I try to push out to teachers and everything with different reports and stuff. So that's 22 to 23. It's nice to have a longer comparison. We only have results from last year, and then we go way back to 18, 19, I think was the last time we had results from this. So we'll look at math, third grade, same type of comparison, district to state, combined 4 and 5 here. Fourth grade going up. This is going up a little bit here, which is good. Remember, level 3 is approaching expectations. So another technique is to look at the students that are right on the cusp. You know, can they get a little bit more help? Maybe they will get a little more help the next year, and it pushes them forward. Middle school, fifth through 8, same type of comparison again. I think we had 8th grade. Oh, I know what it is. Algebra.
Oh,
Algebra is always cool to show it in Mullica. Because, you know, they're just very good at algebra here. There must be something in the water. So, yeah, just completely destroying the state. It could be the teachers. And this is, again, I did the comparison 21, 22 to 22, 23. And you can see, you know, things going up a little bit. Again, you have to go from blue to gray, blue to gray, blue to gray. So when I see this, what I actually see is the 5th and 6th grade test, because the state went down as well. The 5th and 6th grade test, kids are struggling with that one compared to other grade levels, because I see the same thing with the state. The state scores go down there for all the kids across the state. So those tests, kids are struggling with. So that's kind of how I look at that. Science, 8th grade did pretty well. 8th grade did well, ELA, math, and science, which when I see that, that's very important, because that is the culmination of everything everyone does here, and we put them out into the world, and they're doing either at state level or better when we put them out there into high school and out there. So that is that's something to be very proud of, I think. So subgroups, we do report most subgroups. Again, I can't report if we don't have more than 10 students. So some subgroups are not listed here. Male, female, these are all of the different levels. So the gray is the top level. This is something I'm required to report as well. Nothing too surprising here in the terms of if a child has a learning disability, they generally don't do as well on the test. And if someone is economically disadvantaged to someone who is not, they usually do worse on the test. That's kind of across the board everywhere. That was ELA, same thing with math. So a couple of those things I was highlighting, 4th and 8th grade were meeting or exceeding state results, which is very good. There was improvements of the students themselves, whether or not it was a different test or not, going from 3rd to 4th, going from 6th to 7th, going from 7th to 8th. That's great. That was for ELA. Same type of results in math, and of course algebra as well. And science, grade 8, met or exceeded state results. Different strategies we use. I think yesterday or today I sent out these reports to all the teachers. Nobody responded to me, so I don't know if they looked at them or they just don't like when I send all that stuff. But anyway, we do try to look, and you've probably heard me say this before, the different, they give us the different standards, and you can kind of get a glance at the grade level of, did we meet this standard or not? And is there a big difference between us and the state? And all that does is it's something to look at. Did we get to it in time? Did we not dive deep enough into it? Or maybe that grade level of those students was, that happens too, where different grade levels are have different abilities. Vertical articulation, that's what I'm saying. We compare all the results. Beginning of the year, that's kind of what we're starting to do now. And exact path, start getting on learning paths with that other assessment that we use. So the teachers and students have been working hard on getting those done in reading and math. And then once that's done, the student gets their own individual path to go on. They go on the computer and it attacks the things that they're not doing too well. So that's it. So again, on the curriculum page, this will be posted. I keep it up there all year. Last year's is still on there. I'll take that down and give you this one. So if you really want to see it, I know some of you couldn't see the graphs that well. If you really want to go look, it'll be on the website
Can I ask you one more
tomorrow.
question? The data that you send out, do you send out all of it, or do you send out, like, say, run a report where you find like the things where the kids struggled the most and the things where they were the best, and send that individually?
So I
'Cause
like,
those big documents are kind of massive.
yeah, I send out like, did I send it today or yesterday? Is it today? Okay, so it's a 2-page, which I like that it's only
Okay.
2 pages.
That's what I was
It's
like.
it's a plot line graph that we get for a whole grade level, for
Okay.
ELA and for math. And you basically have what the state did, and then the dots for each standard that you're looking at. The dots represent where most of our students, the average of our students fell. So if you see them above, they did well. And if you see something way low, it tells you what standard it is. And then the second page tells you not just a number, the exact standard. And you can kind of look and say, what were we doing that week?
I wasn't sure if it
Maybe
was
half the
just
class
like
was out.
every student, everything. That's
No, the parents get their own individual ones, but I don't, Now, if we needed that, I have it, but we
Okay.
usually, we kind of go general. Again,
Thank you.
you don't want to put it's one test,
No, I
so
know.
we get an idea, but,
Trust me, I know.
yeah. All the others?
Thank you, Scott.
Sorry if that was
And I
long,
think,
okay.
I don't want to brush over that. The point you said about our students in 7th and 8th grade and what we see when they've been here for a period of time and how they're performing. I think that's a tribute to everybody, especially the teaching staff, that when we have students for a period of time, we can work with them and they perform well. So that's
They
great.
do,
So,
they really do.
yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You know what I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, good job to all the teachers and support staff, because
Thank
that's
you.
commendable coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
Like, it's been rough, so good job. At this time, the meeting will now be open to the public for comments on agenda items only. If your comments pertain to students, personnel, litigation, or negotiations, we would ask that you see the superintendent after the meeting, since the board does not generally discuss such items in public. Do we have anyone that wants to make a comment? Okay. All right.
Hi, good evening, Board of
Agenda items
Education.
only.
Oh, yeah.
Agenda-
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yes.
And your name for the record?
Yes, for the record.
No problem. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Keely Sullivan. I teach STEM enrichment, and special education here at Mullica. Most of you know me, Mr. Solomon. I hope you do.
No, I do not.
I wear many hats at Mullica, and tonight I don the hat of yet another thing, Union President of the Mullica Township Education Association, and a lot of them are here today. And we are here because we acknowledge and we recognize the lack of union presence in the past at the Board of Education meetings, and clearly, we are here to fix that. We do care a lot about the students, a lot about ourselves and our safety. We, the members, are here to reestablish ourselves as important stakeholders in our school community. We look forward to having an open, honest, and mutually respectful relationship with all of you. We appreciate the important role that all of you play in the education of our students, and we recognize one other very important role. Is it that you are to hear our voices while we advocate for our students' safety, education, and as well as the safety and the safety of ourselves. And with this, we stand united and dedicated as a staff. Thank you for your time.
Any other comments? Okay, thank you. Any old business? I don't have anything. Okay, new business? Then, committee reports, curriculum policy? You switched seats on me, I'm confused.
For committee, Scott reviewed the updates on the STEM curriculum. We also discussed and reviewed the volunteer policy. And we discussed the New Jersey School Board's policy adoption. The committee recommended adopting the policy manual as a whole and addressing individual policies as needed. We also discussed the expenses and transportation for field trips for the 23-24 school year. Ms. Lynn and the committee discussed the 8th grade end of the year trip. There were 3 locations that were discussed, and I saw on today's agenda that Gwen Park, I guess, won. So I'm glad to see a location was chosen, and I'm sure the 8th graders will have fun. And that's it.
All right, thank you. Finance and operations?
All right, so we received an update of the cafeteria walk-in freezer being repaired and the food being moved back in from the freezer truck that was rented. We discussed finalizing pricing for a new dishwasher in the cafeteria. We discussed a couple of the bids that we received for the Gertrude Lauer School. We got an update from the HVAC project and that the units continuing to break in some of the classrooms. And we're going out to bid again, and hopefully we'll be able to get somebody to start that project. And we discussed the SROs have made a request for a pay increase as well.
Thank you. Personnel and negotiations.
Okay, we discussed personnel issues. We reviewed the BCBA posting, and tonight our negotiations committee met, and we're excited with so many of the MTA members here that we're about ready to get started, and you will be getting a letter from us to enter into negotiations. Okay, thank you.
Just a quick question, do we have to send you our Bergenfield? Okay, just asking, thank you.
All right. For correspondence, we got a ARC donation thank you letter. Item E is the board and district goals. And we do need a motion and a second to approve the board and district goals as listed in the agenda.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. At this time, can I get a motion and a second to approve the August 23rd, 2023 Board of Education regular meeting minutes and executive meeting minutes?
Motion.
That was hard to say. Nick, you made the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Item 7 is monthly reports, which are just informational items. Item 8, can I get a motion and a second for the Mullica Township Board of Education, upon recommendation of the superintendent, approve items 8B through 8L?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'll just point out that officially tonight, I can finally say it, our new business administrator taking over for Karen after she retires at the end of the school week, or calendar year, Mr. Todd Deanna. So welcome and congratulations, Todd.
Any other discussion? And I will do a roll call once I find the page. Mrs. Jacobo. Mrs. Kurtz.
Yes.
Mr. Roner.
Yes.
Sorry. Mr. Stallworth.
Yes.
Mrs. Werner.
Yes.
Mr. Winterbottom's not here. And Mrs. Wild?
Yes.
And Mrs. Brownhill? Yes. Motion carries. Can I get a motion and a second for the Mullica Township Board of Education, upon recommendation of the superintendent, approve items 9B through 9H?
Motion? Second.
Any discussion?
I just want to say I'm really excited to see all the field trips for the kids and that we've been able to continue them. And I think it's something important that a lot of us have talked about on a regular basis, that it's important to us and for the kids that they get to have all these great field trips. So thank you, everyone who plans them. I know it's a lot.
And who goes on them? Because those bus rides can be a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Any other discussion? And then I'm going to do a roll call. Mrs. Jacobo?
Yes.
Mrs. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Roner?
Yes.
Mr. Silva? It's much harder than it looks when Karen does it. Mr. Stallworth?
You're doing a great job.
Mrs. Werner?
Yes.
Mrs. Wild?
Yes.
And me is a yes. All right. Can I get a motion and second for the Mullica Township Board of Education, upon recommendation of the superintendent, approve items 10B?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have one note.
Yep.
It's just on the NJSB, the adoption of the whole policy manual. I know I've asked Andrew this and I've asked Carmen this. I still don't express my concern that all the work that we put in previously, the Strauss Esme ones, the tweaking that we've done for Mullica, that we don't lose that. And I was assured it wasn't, and I'm confident that it isn't, but I just wanted to throw that back out there.
Yeah, so as Andrew said before, as I went through the policies, anything that like we filled in or changed, they did reach out to him and he verified all those changes that we made. So,
I appreciate that.
yeah, so it should, you know, there may be a few typos,
Right.
but it should,
Because
It should
it
be
was a lot of years from a lot of different
Yes.
people that
yes, we've
have
been doing policies.
tailored it to
Yeah.
Mullica.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we will go through them as we, you know, we're always adopting and changing, so we'll continue to look at them.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. At this time, I'm gonna do a roll call. Mrs. Jacobo?
Yes.
Mrs. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Roner?
Yes.
Mr. Stallworth?
Yes.
Mrs. Werner?
Yes.
Mrs. Wild?
Yes.
And Mrs. Brownhill? Yes. Motion carries. At this time, can I get a motion and a second for the Mullica Township Board of Education, upon recommendation of the business administrator, approve items 11B through 11G?
Motion.
Any discussion? Everyone good? All right, I'm gonna do a roll call. Mrs. Jacobo?
Yes.
Mrs. Kurtz?
Yes, but abstain from 11G.
Okay. Mr. Roner?
Yes.
Mr. Stallworth?
Abstain on 11B, yes to the rest.
Mrs. Werner?
Yes.
Mrs. Wild?
Yes, and abstain on, G.
And Mrs. Brownhill is yes. So motion carries. At this time, sorry, it's not written here. At this time, the meeting will now be open to the public for comments. If your comments pertain to students, personnel, litigation, or negotiations, we would ask that you see the superintendent after the meeting, since the board does not generally discuss such items in public. Any comments?
I have some comments.
Okay.
The county school board meeting is on Tuesday, October 3rd, if any board members need to register. And the Municipal Alliance is sponsoring a trunk or treat on Saturday, October 28th at Direct Field from 5 to 7.
All right, wait a minute, you were way too fast.
Sorry.
County meeting on what date?
October 3rd,
Okay, and trunk or treat, you said?
yes, it is October 28th from 5 to 7. Yes,
I'm sorry, say the date one more time.
October 28th.
Thank you. I'm very slow. All right, any other comments?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your name, please?
Ms. Lick, I'd like to thank the board for increasing the lighting outside the school because I understand I'm the cause of it. It was a lot different tonight than it was the last time I was here. So I appreciate it. And Mr. Weber, I'd like to let you know that I'm in better condition to help the school as far as weapons, I'm not weapons act. So I'm good at that too, but as far as the program for our war veterans is concerned.
Okay.
So anytime you give me a call, if you get
Thank you. Thank you for that. I'm glad you're feeling better, doing better.
Yes.
We were concerned about you, and thank you for the feedback on the lighting as well. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it too, because, well, I'm not gonna come into what happened.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's in the audience right now, Mr. Ware, and his staff, they did all that work themselves.
Great, thank you.
So,
It was a great improvement.
good.
Any other comments? Okay. PTA, don't really have much of an update other than they can always use more members. Membership is only $5. They do a lot of great things for the school. So if you haven't joined yet and you are not a PTA member, please do so as soon as possible. And if you're looking to become a member tonight, I see Mrs. Williams in the audience, so she can take your money from you. MTF?
I believe Jean here, was gonna give an update. If not, I can do it, Jean.
Well, I think.
Lauren had volunteered you.
So the Ed Foundation just wanted to announce that, two things actually. Last spring, we awarded a $1,000 annual scholarship for 4 years to Mia Pellerito. And we should talk about that. And I have some others. And we wanted to announce that each year we review grant requests from teachers, and we awarded Scott Newhall a grant for the installation of a volleyball court in the back of our school for all to use, and it was just under $2,000. So congratulations.
Can you just say the name of the student again that you gave the scholarship to?
Sure, Mia Pellerito.
Thank you. All right. Then at this time, I need a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting.
Motion?
Second.
Oh, there was a race there. I think I'll give that one to Sarah.
Yes.
Very good, yes. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain?
I think she ended it.
And thank you again for everyone coming out.